Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is Jose, but you can call me Juice, and I hope y'all are having a great motherfucking planty day. Happy Earth Day, everybody! So today we're just gonna be going over a list of ways we could be more sustainable as houseplant parents. Because I feel like if you're into houseplants, then you probably also care about the earth and the environment. So if that sounds like something you'd be interested in listening to, please make sure to stick around. And if you didn't know, I'd be uploading plant content here every Wednesday and Friday. So if you'd be looking for that, I got you. Maybe you should go ahead and check out my other videos. And if you already have, you should definitely think about clicking that subscribe button. Also, don't forget to leave a like and a comment. But anyways, let's go ahead and get right into this video. So first up, we're going to be talking about reusing plastic for plants. I know all of us in some way or another acquire plastic waste that can be reused for your plants. So basically what I mean by that is if you get fast food, a drink like Starbucks, Dutch Bros, wherever you live, whatever you get, you should definitely save the cups. That is something that I have been doing for a while now. You can reuse these cups to pot plants in, propagate plants in them. You can literally do so much with them and not have to throw them away because this world already has enough plastic in it. Am I right? You can also save little takeout boxes like this because they can be used for propagation boxes really well. I even have a bigger one right behind me that I have a bunch of plants in, and yeah. So instead of throwing this big plastic thing out, we can use it for plants and turn this little takeout box into a little greenhouse. Even with all the plants that I have growing for my shop, I have them all potted in reused plastics or pots. And I think it is a really fun and easy way to have little pots to be growing plants in. Here's another example of recycling. This isn't plastic, it's actually metal, but it's the same idea. This is actually my boyfriend Ezra's everyoooone aureum. It is potted in this little Cafe Bucello coffee container. Obviously, all the coffee had been used, so he went ahead and turned it into a pot. So he just made these two little drainage holes on the bottom, and yeah, basically that's all you have to really do to make something into a pot. You can also do stuff without drainage holes if you're into like semi-hydro or whatever it's called. I know you could put like leca on the bottom and then like your potting soil on top. But yeah, I think it is just really fun and really cool to be reusing plastics and metals or whatever for your plants. You have to be careful with metals though because they can rust, so make sure it's something that won't rust. It's really nice to be able to reuse things instead of throwing them out because they probably just end up in a landfill somewhere anyways. But let's go ahead and move on to the next topic. So next up, I'm going to be talking about reusing sphagnum moss or pumice or perlite or anything similar, even like leca or pon if you're into that. But if y'all didn't know, you can be reusing that stuff instead of throwing it out. Basically, you can just boil it in a pot on the stove. Some people say 30 minutes to like really sterilize it, but honestly, I just do it for like 5 to 10 minutes. And if you want to be safe, you could always put a little bit of hydrogen peroxide in there as well. But yeah, as long as you boil it and sterilize it, it should be perfectly clean and ready to go. And then you don't gotta throw it out. And you can basically keep reusing it indefinitely because I don't think sphagnum moss in particular ever really goes bad. I mean, they might over time if you like really are sterilizing them a bunch. So I like to keep a bag of used sphagnum laying around because I can always go ahead and sterilize this, and that saves me a trip to the store, which is also really nice, which also helps me save gas, which also, puts less emissions into the environment, and also saves me money because y'all, gas prices right now. I'm gonna stop rambling and let's go ahead and move on to the next topic. So while we're on the topic of reusing things, you can also reuse your potting soil. Basically, you can literally bake it in the oven. I'm not sure the exact temperature, but I'll put it up on the screen. But yeah, basically, it's kind of similar like to the sphagnum and pumice and all those things, because the high temperature kills all the bacteria, and that's how it gets sterilized, so that when you reuse it with your plants, you don't have to worry about root rot or just bacteria problems in general. You can definitely mix in old soil with new soil so that your soil supply lasts longer, and that also saves you money as well. And again, a trip to the store, which saves you gas and gas money and emissions and all that. You can even reuse water. So basically, when you're watering your plants, if you have a lot of excess in like the drainage trays, you can just collect that back into the watering can and then use that water to water even more plants, or save it until your next watering, because honestly that water is going to have tons of nutrients in it, especially if you're using fertilizer. It's going to have the fertilizer water, and it's also going to have the nutrients that is in the soil as well. Kind of similar to this, you can also even collect rainwater, depending on where you live. I live somewhere really rainy, so I could be doing this, but I'm actually not doing that right now because I just live in an apartment, so I don't really have like yard or space to be doing that, because my balcony is hooded, so I don't get rain. But if you collect rainwater, you can definitely use that to water your plants, or even use it in your humidifiers. But yeah, anyways, let's go ahead and move on to the next topic. So next up, I just want to say we should all try to be using LED grow lights, because obviously we need to have grow lights on for long periods of time for them to be effective. And if you're anything like me, my apartment doesn't really have a bunch of windows, so I definitely need to be using grow lights. Obviously, if you're using lights for a long period of time, that uses a lot of electricity and energy, which is bad for the environment as well. As long as you're using LED lights, you can save some of that energy usage and also save money on your electricity bill. So a lot of these things benefit you, but also benefit the earth. So it's a win-win relationship. That also just means these are worthwhile things to be adding into your plant parenthood. And you don't even have to get anything super fancy. Some of the best grow lights I have are literally just LED light bulbs. I think they have to be a certain wattage for them to be able to work as grow lights. They were maybe like $20 for 2 of them, so it was like $10 each. Technically, they're not even marketed as grow lights, but they honestly work really well as grow lights. So I definitely recommend using something like that. But either way, LED is the way to go. And I'm gonna go ahead and move on. So next up, we're gonna be talking about trading plants. So basically, instead of buying plants, you can trade with another plant parent. I've actually never personally done a trade yet. I'm hoping I can someday, because that sounds like something that would be really fun. But I know it's a really easy way to get new plants without spending a ton of money, and just a really good way to make connections in the plant community. But yeah, so I definitely recommend trading for plants. But if you never traded with anyone like me because you socially awkward and anxious, I also recommend buying from your local plant shops instead of buying online. I mean, obviously buying online is also really good as well, but you also have to remember, if you're buying online, you also have to ship things, which usually either come in the plane or like in a car. So that puts emissions into the atmosphere. But if you're shopping at local plant shops, you still probably, have to drive, unless you live close to one where you can just walk up to it. But I think it'd be a lot less emissions from you driving to the plant store as it would be to ship something to you. Anyways, let's go ahead and move on to the last topic. So lastly, I'm going to be talking about composting. I honestly don't have a ton of experience with this. I kind of tried to get into it in the past when I was first getting into plants. I haven't tried to get back into it for a while, and I know it is an easy way to basically make your own fertilizer and mix that in with your soil as well. So then you have to buy less fertilizer, and also it is organic and natural. And obviously, if you're collecting plants, you have a lot of plant matter to work with, especially if your plants are losing leaves, hopefully in a good way, not in a bad way. But even if it wasn't a bad way, you can put that plant in the compost pile, and that plant will go back into your plant collection and help give your plants some nutrients. If you're really into composting, let me know down in the comments. and like let us know some fun facts or something. I don't know. But yeah, that completes my little Earth Day list of ways to be a more sustainable houseplant parent. So I hope you guys enjoyed watching. How about I grab a plant for the outro? But as I was saying, I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. If you did, please make sure to leave a like and a comment. I would really appreciate it, and it would also really help my channel out. I hope you guys have a really great Earth Day, and if you didn't know, I'd be uploading planty content here every Wednesday and Friday. So if you'd be looking for that, you should definitely think about checking out my other videos. And if you already have, you should click that subscribe button down there. I also have a planty TikTok, so if you're into that, please make sure to check it out. I'll leave my username down in the description. And don't forget to always think about the earth and Mother Nature and how we can protect it, because y'all, in the world that we live in today, we are literally killing the planet that we live on. I know most of the pollution and stuff in this world comes from corporations because they don't want to get their act together, but you know, as long as we can do a little something, I'm sure the planet appreciates it. But yeah, anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and head out, and I'm gonna see y'all next week. Bye.